Welcome back. I was looking at consultant Şevval Mutlu and Beckham director Bekir Diri with us. So we're going to talk about how localization and can come together on a common grounds. Welcome back, and you can start if you're ready. Thank you. Welcome everybody. Welcome back. As you can understand from the theme of the session, we will be talking about blockchain and localization. That's using an option and turn we will be talking about concepts, concepts and how concepts can set and develop new patterns. But very briefly, without further being lost in the concept, I'll talk about what's a blockchain is entailing, and then I would like to invite you in that presentation as well. So what is blockchain actually? What tends to data are sequenced one after another, and they are all coded with a different chain, and every chain the data from the previous chain itself. So blockchain technology it is a decentralized system, and that's why the intermediaries are not involved in this. That's the mechanism for content for the institutions that we're trying to have patent. We basically eliminate that in blockchain technology. It's an unchangeable inner structure where codes are embedded. So what the I said is it to be sure that the codes cannot be changed. So terms and policies, for example, provisions, pages of not really read them, and I don't personally read them. And they are able to companies and admins things are all all and then there's they entitled and what is and then the companies can even change their data as well. Don't say that it's a step because we normal and this it's and so effective. So still it's monitored by everybody. You can see how much having you can monitor assets specific companies, everything is presented in a transparent manner, and it's important. You are more of a gamer compared. It how does blockchain help us with games? And I would like to get answers from as you are playing game. Are you asking yourself what you want to because we talked about that by using technologies and what do you want from a game? How would you describe it with one word? One. Okay. Other answer. No wait. And one more answer. Story. Okay, thank you. Fun, innovation, story. If you wanted as a gamer with new technology, as a game provider, what would you like to give? How to attract gamers? What do you think about that? And the first thing that comes to my mind is to offer something that is different than the previous game. Or in the previous game, all those points that were dissatisfied to all those points that weren't that attractive for gamers. So maybe changing them because talking about a time period where technologies are changing rapidly and where markets are changing rapidly, it, it, innovation should think about time savings. It should think about the time that I spent in the game or in other parts of my life, and it should simplify the things that I did. And when it comes to time saving, what does it really mean? Blockchain technology, how does it really have multiple products? The design and software mistakes and bugs can be spotted easily. Because with the blockchain, therefore you can find a mistake in a code from the beginning to the end. But as this is open source, only that not only that person who developed the code, everyone can actually understand the error and monitor the error. And the way games are operating and running this structure, it can be changed, and this is how games can be more dynamic. And this is another advantage. And when it comes to state pace, how does it think about speed for you? First, it makes in this intermediate. They are all those people in trust, so banks and companies that we think are safer and those institutions that keep our card information about environments where we take risk of like all our data in our credit and payment transactions again. Uh, these are made more secure and reliable, and there are also things that we pay without knowing which, and that's why things can get deeper. So how do we pay the blockchain or the internet? How do we need things that we use that we the blockchain first? You need a wallet for that, and you need have the computer automatically fill in all the information about an environment where you have a cycle in which your data collected automatically. So you monitor all your data, follow your data, and you other applications are also invited as well. Metaverse game, for example, is one of them. Their wallet checks are conducted there. And how does it bring convenience? How does blockchain bring convenience? After that daily work, when you get back home or all your public transport going back home, the thing that we want, that very limited time period that you have at hand, you should be spending it in the manner that you find most pleasurable. But how to derive that pleasure from the time period? Well, this is marketing strategy, and the companies offer that to us too. And there's a strategy should be about making everything that we access to more accessible. So this is why purchases should be validated more easily. When a company disappears, for example, to make sure that we know where our money has been spent. So similarly, gaming and developers have these advantages by making a blockchain, and this is how they reach out to more gamers, and this would result in higher profitability and higher rates of attracting gamers. And so what about the other advantages and benefits? Blockchain technology may play its role in the development of games and in the publishing of games in the gaming industry, because as you are developing these games, also banks and the companies that you then you deal with them, tons of those this game. There are tons of people, and it brings along huge liabilities. You may face penalties with people take, and they may face action, and for compensation indemnification. So they are all written and provided for in the confidentiality agreements. But once you make a switch to blockchain technology, companies or tech developers do not have to grapple with so severe consequences. And this basically creates the new market volume in the gaming industry just because there is demand, because there is demand for it, and this demand should be addressed, this demand should be responded to, because those things, and regularly we see it, very regularly, the data is spread and disclosed and leaked, but people don't find it problematic. And blockchain basically prevents it, and this is how it also creates a new market. I'm not going to talk much about history, but technology developments, they're all about, well, what kind of a technology development, because people think that it was on boom and it would really dissipate in its impact, they would say. But then this question is, who really won? Were those people who thought it could be, they win it, but how to really use this kind of a technology and how to really make use of technology. Technology, all those developments, they're all tools for us, and we need to ensure that we make use of them in the manner that serves us best, in the manner that responds to our needs best. Well, in the technology, metaverse is one of them. And yes, there is new things here, and let's be part of it. Well, rather than doing this, well, because you do it, so you will basically risk omitting many things. But you need to understand if it will respond to your needs. And this is the moment you start making use of all your start benefiting from these tools. So what matters is that you make use of it. But first, you need to understand your own scope and you need to understand the target group that you are interacting with. And the target group may not be a game that many people are eager to take, or your target group may not really a group that is tech savvy. So it's not what kind of a target group you're working with. So this is why I would like to go to it. Well, thank you very much, everyone. As we look at gaming technologies, the economic ecosystem was always there from the very beginning. Well, all those games are on app stores and other stores. Well, what they did was to sell the game, and then they decided to focus on in-game purchases. So why don't we these at one point charge get more complicated and actually get stuck at one point, and then the cash flow should be generated from there, from the point where the indicator or consumer hit a wall. And now the methods here. The first is play and earn. Well, with the economy that gets more and more with this. And the other method is like, well, when you look at every one of them, the game companies with popular games, what they're doing is, well, if you do these tasks in my game, and when I create a new ecosystem for you, I will be helping you to use your own token without having to pay any commission fees. So I can fund you in that. They started to pay. And this is how the system has been established. But how was it provided? There is a test system here, and Counter-Strike or in other systems that you see. Well, it is not only about money. Without having to pay, you can get successful, you can come first, you can rank among the top three players, or you can have high rankings. And once you have it, you may have plenty to other users by being successful. As we see NFT system, all these fungible items can be coincidentally. Well, it may be a very little terms, but once you have this item, you well, $100, $500, or $20, you can access these items. May even be worth $1. It doesn't matter. Well, play, but work on a platform where you can earn money. But I think gaming companies have realized something. The people having to pay money and getting successful. Well, rather than this, they need to take the direction, right, the opposite direction. And the importance of blockchain is about the elimination of intermediaries like banks. Because when you do these procedures, it gets more complicated. So to simplify it, they have their own ecosystems and they have their own gaming system. There are certain mechanics in play, and one is the highlight come to us. It's a Korean company, and they are a big player, and they do great things on mobile. And they have a game, and it is a multiplayer game, but you can play as a single player as well. You have characters there, and you have the speed, and you have text there, and all those features are provided to you. And with by being in the game and by working on it all the time, you try to make the best savings, and you're trying to create the best characters. And there are 50 different types of characters, and it then was converted into a multiplayer game. And they've created a token for themselves. And as they did it, people who downloaded the game would be given $100 of token. And I was one of the early birds, and I was among the ones who jumped in it, and I was directly given $100 from Binance. So why did the gaming company pay $100 to their users? This be better. I can't convert it in seconds, and I can see $100. But why would a company pay $100 to make sure that more and more players play it? Well, it's because the ecosystem within the game can make sure that the game can leave Android systems, and it can be placed in new ecosystems. So gaming companies and the future of gaming companies is that in terms of ecosystem, in terms of cash management. And this here, it's okay. And play to earn the logic LCT, but it gives you something. So the more you play, the more CPs you will earn. And in half an hour, you can play with all these items and you can earn $3 or $4 a day. So in terms of the gaming ecosystem, it's still alive. And gaming currency is now on a global market, and it is an environment where you can convert it, where you can cash it out. So it means that I can have fun by playing this game. I can push myself to come first, but at the same time, I can earn a lot of money. And without even pushing myself, I can only deal with the KPI and competition. And what makes up competition is exactly what I'm talking about right now. Because when you come first with today's coin value, with $100 is the amount that you earn at the end of every month, and it's a huge check. And then it is inventory may be quite different, and you can sell it in another market. And the market competition there, after a certain period, the gamers bring in more money, real money to them. So it creates its own ecosystem, and this is how it makes sure that the game is not in other ecosystems. Very much, and now to earn and play and earn. What does it bring about in terms of savings? Well, I think savings is quite a controversial topic because your expectations expectations may be quite different as a game, and your expectation may be different as a company. Your understanding of earnings, it may be material earnings, or it may be from the users, from the reviews, or for experience of finding negative earnings as a game. One can be heard while having fun. It's a great tool for you, and the time you spend, and days you spend on it to come for statements, but it should have built two terms of financial earnings. It could be a form of earning or the game dynamics, and that's quite high. It may also be another exposure as well. So the experience that you have in the game is closer to experiences in life. In a game that you may earn a very rare item, and it's not only confined to a single game, and can be about those games being on but on match that it hits such a level and a very rare item that you earn. Well, it could be sport, for example, or can be transferred to another game, magic pack, or think about that sport is the focus part, and that has value in real life as well. And this is not for people like you, and you without interact with this, and you can basically transfer financially. When you think about that, these are all the benefits of the system. Well, when it comes to play and earn, it is about you playing a purpose game and you earn. So when you earn the token within a game, is about that the tokens can take it. So when it comes to play to earn, the tasks figure and the levels given to you, you have to finish and at certain levels you have different rewards. So you can convert them to different platforms, or the wallets that you have will enable you to make transfers, and they will be provided to you in, and you can sell them. And most importantly, you can record of that and it all is automatic. You can keep record of that, and you can make sure that it's being monitored.
So the differences in earning or in making money, the new technologies are giving you a new ID in your gaming. You are more than your nickname now. You are now not only that avatar. After you have entered the game, everything is registered and you have a wallet address, which is your identity there. Those winnings, those earnings, they can become something concrete, and that gives you more motivation, and it makes the game more important in your life, and it's a new model of making money for you. So it's a model of earning. It's not only killing time now to play a game, means making use of your time. You spend hours in the game and you sit in front of the computer for hours. And as a result of so many hours, you have not only played a game, but you have made some earnings now. On the productivity side, a player, as I have said before, can gain an element and use that element in another game, which means the new market in the gaming industry, because a few games developed by a company can have a dynamic among each other. They can be integrated to each other and can allow such changes. I already talked about making money. This is also increasing the competition between companies, because this competition of monetizing it also develops the chain of earning. So games on the platform, companies will aim them to make more money. So their technology, their contract, and what they offer you, for instance, play this much and get this, complete these tasks, and I give you this. Such improvements will be constantly made. So the markets will improve the budget that it has, and it will develop and expand it in a very dynamic manner. On the reality side, it could become a platform of value transfer. Real money will equal real experience. What does this mean? Games can be purchased on platforms. They can be played, and there is no return, no real return for you, for the player. You spend many hours and they will no longer be this, but you give, let's say, 6 months to a game, and once you delete the game, there is nothing, when you look back, there is nothing that you have gained out of it, but you have spent hours. What happens to the tens of things that you have collected there? They will not be garbage, but thanks to these developments, thanks to the new details given to you by the platform, they will be coming back to you. For instance, if there's any token of a platform, and you will be able to be paid for it, whatever it equals, or you have maybe collected great items, they will not be wasted. They will not go to waste thanks to blockchain. This is one of the most important advantages of the blockchain technology. For, let's say, a game lost its hype, but thanks to the blockchain technology, that value will be preserved. In that hype process, everything that you have gained or gathered within the contract, you will be able to preserve the value, and they will be sold in the new marketplace. And that way, you will not experience a loss of value of your time. Then comes added value. This is a very recent speech by the founding partner of Reddit. We always say, in the past year, for crypto or for metaverse or for blockchain, we say they lost their hype in the previous couple of years. There's a downward trend. They're not in hype anymore, we say, but to the contrary, an opportunity comes out of every crisis. But it's connected to how you use that opportunity. He said in 5 years, you will really be attaching value to your time. All those swords and hammers and clothes that you don't own, rather than paying dollars to purchase them, you will be collecting them inside the game, and you will enjoy at the same time. You will be playing a game that is an equivalent of it. According to the research where this quote is from, until 2025, 230 million players will purchase chests and will gain $20 billion. And within the blockchain, this value will always be rotating. We talked about the game ecosystem and the blockchain sharing. Play and earn and play to earn are the two models. We talked about the demands of the gamers, and companies can meet them and make money. And what is their reflection in the active market? I give the floor back to Bekir. Let's give an example or ask a question. Have any of you sold your account? I played this game, I developed it, and I sold my accounts. Anyone else? I will tell a different story. a close friend of mine played Knight for years. He gained a great level. He lost speed to gain booty. He spent years on this. He said 3 years ago he was going to sell his account to a buyer, but he was scammed and his money got lost. They got his account, the password was changed. In blockchain, people want to play games, me, myself included, but when I'm bored, I want to sell or transfer it in a secure way. Or if there's something valuable in my inventory, I want to hand it over to someone else. I want to sell it today or tomorrow. It could be sold anytime. I have to make returns in a secure environment. Such things, when they're done on the blockchain, we see that there's data. When we interact with the data, nothing can be stolen. Everything is in a secure environment. Why? Because at the end of the day, when the two transactions don't happen, when the real money or coin is not transferred, the value is not transferred either. Otherwise, the things are more difficult and people run into problems. As the founding partner of Reddit say, people will always want to own such inventories. This could be a new attribute in the game, a car that nobody else has, or a car with a specific theme. It's not about spending money, but it's about how to transfer it in the ecosystem. Individual players can do this, but there are problems with the process. Another thing that is important to me is playing not to kill time, but this way games will be a tool for us to value our time. I sound like any mom when I use this microphone. Not to kill time, but to value or monetize our time. We will be able to play games. The competition within the industry is important for the producer of the game and the players of the game. This is valuable for producers because we are on the localization side. I look at both sides. When I look at the player and the producer, they both should like the game. No producer just makes a game out of boredom. They want the game to be liked, to go global, and to open to new markets. But in order to generate this ecosystem, we have to feed the game inside the game. Otherwise, slowly, it can get deleted. So what about the people who spent money on that game until that point? When you release a new game in the future, what will be the data of the previous game? So many assets will be valuable and they will always preserve, these assets will preserve their value. That's why this is important to us. I would like to give another example and leave it to your imagination. For instance, Ethereum, I'm sure you have heard about it, especially after the pandemic, looking at our own country, we started talking economics, what will happen to Bitcoin or Ethereum. People are following graphs, whether they know or not, just like following the exchange rate, they follow the graphs of the values of the tokens. The previous research was talking about 2025, which is just 2 years ahead. We're already in 2023. So 2 years later, just like we talked about tokenomics, we may be talking about the games economics. Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, we may see the ranking of game tokens. Games will earn by increasing the value of their own games tokens. That will be a new dimension, and this will mean a change. For many years, you've been paying just for your pleasure, but now maybe you will be making money out of it as well. And I think this will really, I think there's no other place where this ecosystem can feed itself better. All those assets that you see on the platform will be fungible as well. Maybe not only as a token, but you will be able to sell the items. They will have a certain value as well, and you will see a ranking of it as well. Maybe this is not too far off, as long as technology is applied the right way. Every technological development, of course, is also open to certain mistakes over time. This is always the case. This is always possible, but this is a rapidly developing industry. 2025 is not very far off at all. When you start developing a game today, it will take you 2 years to develop it. So this will at least tell you what you should be ready for, what you should brace for. Metaverse or Web3 or play to earn, these will be preparing us for exactly what we want to do. This is all for our presentation. You can reach us anywhere. Thank you for your attention. Are there any questions? We don't have any questions online. We have 11 minutes left. If there are any questions from the room, we can take them. Otherwise, if you have anything further to add, we can add them. Thank you very much.